YouTube, what it do? Hey man, it's currently 9:09 in the morning, January 3rd. And got something in my mouth. But yeah, as y'all can see, back with another reaction, man. And yeah, y'all can see the title. How DC can beat Marvel in 2025. Shit, we're gonna have to see what this talking about, man. Cause shit, as I was a kid, I like superheroes and stuff growing up, especially DC. So shit, we're gonna see, man. We're gonna see what it's talking about.
It doesn't look like this will change anytime soon, especially since Marvel is releasing Spider-Man 4 and Avengers. Marvel theaters was way back. It seems like if DC surpassed Marvel in 2025, it seems like an impossible mission, because the last time DC managed to compete with Marvel in theaters was way back in 2012 with the release of The Dark Knight Rises. Since then, Marvel has crushed DC.
Facts. Hey, that's a fact. Hey, if y'all never seen this movie, this is probably like, nah, it ain't better than the first one. But this is probably like, I say it's mid compared to like the new Batman, but it's still pretty peak. It's peak Batman. I say it's peak.
Back in 2012 with the release of The Dark Knight Rises. Since then, Marvel has crushed DC in box office numbers, critical acclaim, and overall audience approval. It doesn't look like this will change anytime soon, especially since Marvel is releasing Spider-Man 4 and Avengers Doomsday in 2026, with Robert Downey Jr. making his return. Plus, Secret.
Oh my God, that's gonna be tough. I ain't even gonna lie. See, Marvel only outshine DC because they just give the people what they want.
And Avengers Doomsday in 2026.
That's gonna be tough. Robert Downey Jr. coming back after the whole, Endgame thing. That's gonna be tough, bro.
With Robert Downey Jr. making his return. Plus, Secret Wars drops in 2027, promising to be the biggest multiverse crossover we've ever seen. But 2025 might just change the game. DC has a shot to catch up to Marvel, and maybe even surpass them for the first time.
Don't count on DC though. DC got some tough stuff too. You feel me? Especially coming, we got the Superman trailer. I didn't even, I didn't even react to a Superman trailer, bro. Let me know if y'all want me to still react to it. It's kind of late. I don't know. It's kind of late. I had missed it. Like, I really missed it. But I seen it. Don't think I missed it. But I seen it. And, yeah, it looked promising. It definitely held up. Some folks, hang or whatever. But it definitely held up, compared to what we got. We ain't really had no Superman in years. So I just, I look forward to seeing how the new Superman will be. That's all. But yeah.
Since the MCU began.
It's bullshit.
You might be wondering how that's even possible, especially since DC is only releasing 2 projects in 2025. Maybe 3 if they finish season 3 of My Adventures with Superman, while Marvel has 9 projects lined up. But today,
and we're gonna talk about that too, bro. The Batman Part 2 getting delayed to 27. It was supposed to come out this year. It was gonna be coming out December of this year, but now we gotta wait a whole nother year, and that's just crazy. It's crazy. Like, I get they trying to take their time, make a masterpiece, because the first movie was a masterpiece. Let's get that out the way. The first Batman that dropped in 2022 was a masterpiece. Let's just get that out the way. It's no point in even.
Today in Mr. Headcanon, we'll show you how that
too much time with that.
What DC needs to do is prove that their projects can actually be good. They've got to keep fans of the old universe hooked, while also drawing in new viewers who didn't vibe with the old DCU. Peacemaker is going to be a big part of this, because season 1 absolutely crushed it back in 2022. Sure, it started with low ratings, way below anything the MCU had put out, but word of mouth boosted its viewership until it became one of the platform's most watched shows. Wow. It's now one of the highest rated projects in DC's history, and season 2 is expected to stay on that same path, because James Gunn is writing and directing. They're not changing the tone, the characters, or the continuity. It just makes sense that it'll do even better than the first season. And yeah, I know Peacemaker has a major problem. In the final episode, the Justice League from the old universe showed up. Well,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. me, like, what are they gonna do? Like, they just gonna, like, Man in Black everybody? Like,
Technically, we could only see 2 of the actors, and Batman wasn't even there. But that was the Justice League, I guess. Gunn said that scene isn't canon anymore, and promised it'll all make sense, but we'll have to wait for Season 2 to get the explanation. I get that this confuses fans, and makes it seem like Gunn is cherry-picking the projects he likes, and throwing out the ones he doesn't. But I don't think this will have much impact on the show's ratings or reviews. The hard truth is, casual viewers couldn't care less about what's canon and what isn't. If Season 2 is as good as Season 1, people are going to watch it, and that's it.
That's true.
Plus, fans are hungry for DC content after the Penguin's success. Sure, Peacemaker has a totally different vibe and is set in a completely different universe, but it's still an HBO Max
another
series
hit. See,
featuring a
don't count
morally
D-
questionable
hey,
character.
Don't count DC out. You know, just give them their time. You know, I low key rock with the decision. You know that they made. You know, it take time. Stuff, greatness take time, man. Like you said.
Just like the Penguin. I'd be shocked if Season 2 of Peacemaker doesn't get more viewers than the first season. But
One of the coolest things about ZZZ is
Aye,
how
bro.
real they feel. For example, if you go to Lumina Square,
the real game changer will be Superman. I know a lot of people claim Superman is outdated, and nobody wants to watch a guy in underwear rescuing cats from trees. But the first teaser for this movie got 250 million views in its first 24 hours. That makes it the most watched DC trailer ever, and Warner Brothers' most viewed trailer of all time. It's even in the top 5 most viewed movie trailers of all time. And it didn't even have a Super Bowl ad boost like Deadpool and Wolverine. It makes sense the trailer did so well, because we're at the perfect moment for Superman to return as a pop culture icon. This movie can do what Kingdom Come did for comics in the 90s. Back then, anti-heroes dominated the scene. Deadpool, Cable, and all those edgy Image Comics characters who didn't care about traditional hero values. Kingdom Come worked as a critique of all these characters. Writer Mark Waid reminded us why the Justice League is essential, and why their values remain timeless, no matter how dark the world becomes. Superman can pull off the same thing today. In a time when Deadpool, the boys, and the Penguin are grabbing everyone's attention, Superman can stand out by being the genuinely good guy who helps people without expecting anything in return. If you're still not convinced, just ask yourself this. When was the last time James Gunn made a bad superhero project? Guardians of the Galaxy is the best trilogy in the MCU. His version of the Suicide Squad was incredible. Peacemaker is one of the best things to come out of the old DCU. And Creature Commandos is great too. This guy loves superheroes, loves comics, and knows how to adapt them in a way that makes both fans and casual viewers happy. I'm confident he's going to crush it with Superman and make a whole new generation fall in love with the character. And yeah, I know what you're already typing in the comments. It's going to be really hard for Superman to make $1 billion at the box office, especially since DC's recent track record is just terrible. Not even a Superman and Batman crossover hit $1 billion. But here's the thing, Superman doesn't need to make $1 billion. It just needs to be a really good movie. We need to leave the theater thinking that was the best superhero movie of the year. That might sound like a huge challenge, but James Gunn knows that's exactly how people need to feel. He's not just directing and writing Superman, he's also the president of DC Studios. The future of his new universe and his position as president all hinge on Superman being a hit across the board. Critics need to love it, casual viewers need to be hooked, fans should feel satisfied, and at the very least, the movie can't lose money.
This is too much pressure.
Things are looking pretty good for DC. But what about Marvel? It's not like they're just gonna sit back in 2025 and let DC take over the superhero genre. Marvel's still in the game, but in 2025, they won't be playing their strongest cards. Let's take a look at Marvel's release date for next year. In January, they're dropping Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, a show that was originally supposed to be a Civil War prequel, but is now set in a different universe. It could be awesome and draw in tons of viewers, since it stars the most popular superhero in the world. But from the trailers, it looks super kid-friendly, so it might not appeal to Marvel's hardcore fan base. I doubt it'll get the same viewership as X-Men 97, because people want to follow up to the 90s Spider-Man, not a brand new teenage version.
Oh, I don't want to see that.
In February, we're getting Brave New World. Captain America, it's a huge
I
franchise. It's already brought in.
Definitely want to see this. I'm definitely going to see this. Red Hulk. Yes.
2.2 billion overall, but Captain America doesn't have the same star power as Superman. On top of that, Sam Wilson doesn't grab attention the way Steve Rogers does. Everyone's just waiting for Chris Evans to come back in Doomsday, which deadline is already confirmed. Plus, Brave New World has gone through about 20 rounds of reshoots, after test screenings went horribly wrong.
It's a mess.
They'll launch Daredevil Born Again in March, and that's one of Marvel's heavy hitters. We know this show will continue the Netflix series with the same characters, and Kevin Feige personally stepped in to revamp half the show. show because it wasn't good enough. Feige knows fans expect Netflix-level quality, so Born Again could easily end up being one of the best series of the year. Everyone will definitely be buzzing about it, especially since Daredevil's 2 cameos on Disney Plus practically broke the internet.
But there's a catch.
Daredevil will air in the first half of the year. By the end of the year, people might not even remember the series, no matter how good it is. If you don't believe me, think about what happened with X-Men 97. We loved every episode, and I'm still saying it's the best show of the year and the best X-Men adaptation we've ever seen. But nobody's talking about it now because it's been 7 months since the last episode aired.
7.
It's likely that Daredevil will crush Peacemaker in terms of viewership, but Peacemaker is dropping on HBO Max in August, in the second half of the year, right when Superman is gaining momentum. Besides, the real battle will be in theaters. Otherwise, we'd have to say DC competed with Marvel in 2024 thanks to the Penguin, but Marvel had a much better year overall thanks to Deadpool and Wolverine. DC couldn't keep up because Joker 2 was crap.
Dang, bro. I'll be room for DC, and then they
But let's go back to the schedule.
Drop
In
somebody
May,
Joker
we've got
too.
Thunderbolts, which could be fun. The trailers look solid, and Marvel seems to be aiming for a Guardians of the Galaxy vibe, with a team of misfits who aren't exactly superheroes. It might end up being one of 2025's surprises, and could make more money than Brave New World, but it's not on Superman's level, not even close. In June, Ironheart comes to Disney Plus, and you already know what I'm going to say. This is a character nobody really cares about. Ironheart was the worst part of Wakanda Forever, and everyone's just waiting for a new Iron Man show up after Secret Wars, so we don't have to sit through Riri Williams' adventures. Sure, it could be another Agatha-style surprise, and the effects from the teasers look great, but it's more likely that the show will get hate from day one, because Riri Williams doesn't hold a candle to Tony Stark. I'm betting nobody will watch it. In July, we get Fantastic Four First Steps, probably Marvel's strongest card for 2025. The cast looks fantastic. It's being directed by the guy who did WandaVision, and fans are dying to see a good adaptation of the Fantastic Four. It'll probably earn more than any of the group's previous movies. But will that be enough to compete with Superman?
I'm thinking no.
The Fantastic Four are a very well-known team. They're Marvel's first family, and they've got amazing stories in the comics. But most people don't know that. The first 2 Fox movies were fun, but nothing groundbreaking. The third one was a dumpster fire, and the group hasn't had much exposure outside comics in recent years. No animated series, no video games, and their only MCU appearances have been 2 quick cameos where the characters were brutally killed off. I think this movie could be really original and finally do the characters justice, especially with its retro-futuristic universe. Marvel Studios will put a strong push behind it since it's their first Fantastic Four project. But even if it's amazing, I think Superman has the upper hand. Superman is a way more popular character. His previous movies have made way more money, and since this movie is part of a universe that's almost starting from scratch, it'll be more appealing to casual audiences who don't feel like they need to watch 45 movies, 15 shows just to catch up.
Lazy.
Eyes of Wakanda and Marvel Zombies are going to be experiments, and Wonder Man will feel like an extended version of the last episode of She-Hulk, starring a character the general audience doesn't know, and who doesn't really have any fans. Kevin Feige said they're doing something super original with it, but they always say that to promote new projects. I'd be shocked if the show blows up on Disney Plus and manages to compete with Peacemaker, especially since there's zero hype for it right now. So the story could change in 2025, and with all the hype the new DC universe can generate, Supergirl and Lanterns could also be massive hits. Even the Batman 2 might benefit, even though it's not part of the new DCU. If the DC brand gets resurrected in 2025, every DC project...
Not officially. Y'all gotta stay woke. Y'all gotta stay woke now. We don't know if it's in the DCU yet, but we do know that it was pushed, it was delayed. So I don't know. So it's in the air. It's in the air. We don't know that. Not official. It's not official. Can't
is
say
likely
that
to
yet,
thrive.
bro. Can't say that yet, bro.
Or maybe
Say
I'm
that,
getting way
bro.
ahead of myself. All of this could fall apart if Marvel drops a Robert Downey Jr. cameo in the Fantastic Four movie. It would make sense, since the movie is set in another universe, so Robert could show up as a Doctor Doom variant from that universe. That would connect the movie to Doomsday. Fans would rush to theaters to see Robert's return, and Marvel would dominate social media conversations all the way through 2026. Nobody would even remember DC exists, and Superman's box office numbers could take a hit, because while Superman is a bigger character than Doctor Doom, Robert Downey Jr. is way more beloved than David Corenswet. It's no coincidence that the Doomsday announcement video with Robert taking off the mask is one of the most watched videos in Instagram history. They love me. If I were Kevin Feige, I'd have filmed that Robert cameo yesterday to guarantee Fantastic Four smashes at the box office, and to send a message to James Gunn for becoming DC's president. Marvel could knock DC back into second place again. again, because Robert Downey Jr. returning as Doctor Doom was a genius move. We explain why in this video over here.
Have a terrific day.
That's it, y'all. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. DC do have the power, bro, but this Superman movie, I ain't gonna lie, it's gotta, man, it gotta do something for me, man. Cause Marvel, they be on top of their stuff. They be, you know, knowing what to do, so guess we'll see, man. Only time to tell, man. Hey, wake up and choose greatness, man. For sure.